Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight from the main dining room in Jolly, Texas, in the Jolly Truck Stop is Elijah Tindall.
That's like Barnum Bailey up here. I'm excited tonight because I get to do comedy. Yeah. I didn't say I'm going to do it well, but I get to do it. And here's the thing, is that with comedy and with how I see that God created comedy to be in this world, and one of the reasons that I merged from ministry, doing ministry mainly as a youth pastor for about 15 years, and I've said this before, but there was nothing like preparing me for comedy like working with 14-year-olds for 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can handle drunk hecklers at a club because I handled Jimmy Nemo for 4. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no problem. I've got this. I love it. But here's the reason that God put comedy on this earth. Here's the reason, is because, you know, in that passage, everyone's heard it before, they say laughter does good like a medicine. Have you heard that before? Yeah. It's like a biblical phrase. Laughter does good like a medicine. And what I found is that medicine, it doesn't cure. It doesn't heal. Usually it's not the thing that like brings the end result that you were looking for. Right. But it does numb you for a little bit. And the numbing is important. If you don't think the numbing is important, you've never had a procedure done without the numbing. Right. Because a numbing, how many of you ever went to the dentist in here? You've ever been to the dentist? No. In the olden days, they gave you the option to just not have anything while they did the work on there. And now everyone I know, like, I don't care who you are, you'll scrape up the money to get the numbing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want anything about that. But how that works, though, is in this world, God gave comedy so that way He can do work on the heart. He's the great physician, but He needs to numb us up for a while. Like, He needs us to, like, just loosen up and relax. You've seen those videos where people, like, they get the videos right after they get out of the dentist's office, you know, and like their loved ones of all people are taking videos of them, you know. And my buddy's a pastor in Louisiana, and his wife just posted a video of him coming out and sitting in the car just this week. It was only a couple of days ago, and he was like, "The sounds. I can I can feel the vibrations of the sound." The poor guy's got to preach to his congregation on Sunday. I can hear the vibrations of the sounds. Because he's numbed up, and so why God sends me is because pretty much like before I got saved, I'm kind of just His dope dealer. Like that's who I, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just doling out medication so that way He can numb everybody and do the work on the heart. And speaking of doping up, I spent last Friday. All day. Not many people know this. I've had a rough week, but all day I spent in the emergency room in Little Rock, Arkansas. Checked myself in. I was having some heart, is it palpitations? Yeah. Is that what it's called? Yes. Palpitations? Palpitations. Is palpitations anything? No. You'd think it'd be more personal. Like palpitations. Oh yeah? No, palpitations. It's a pretty offensive thing to have, you know? I was helping mutations, and so, you know, I had a heart surgery 5 years ago, so I was like, I better get this checked out. And I'm not a real panicky kind of guy. I'm pretty even and stable. Which, how many would say you're one of those people who are nothing? People, it just doesn't really get to you. Things don't really get to you a lot. You don't emote a lot. You're like that. Okay, is anyone else like that? Here's the deal. I'm like that. What's your name? Marcus, I'm like that, and here's the problem. We think that we're the ones that are okay. We're the crazy ones. We're the ones you got to worry about. Because, Marcus, listen, I've realized that I think that, you know, hey, everything's under control. Everyone's just, I'm a good leader. Everyone follow me. There's no reason to freak out. Here's the problem. We're steaming on the inside. It's a pressure cooker. And so everyone else, they're just kind of letting things go and everything, you know, and people are like, yeah, that guy's a jerk, but he's not a jerk for a long time. he's just a jerk right then. They kind of release the steam. We hold the steam in. And so Marcus, I was at the point where I was just like, man, my eyelids are twitching, and I'm sorry, it does have to do a little bit with the pressure of the Christmas season, okay? Listen, I'm Christian, I love Jesus, but when I think about Jesus, I rarely think about Jesus as little baby Jesus other than at Christmas time, because he's not little baby Jesus to me. Like, it'd be like, I don't think about 14-year-old Jesus a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not. but at Christmas time, I've got to kind of, and that's cool. That's fine. You know, that's fine. I love baby Jesus, but I don't like baby Gap. My problem is all this commercialized stuff that comes along with it, and the Hallmark shows. And yeah, you guys have heard my thoughts on Hallmark movie, and I know it never goes over well. I can see in the back, she's cutting me off. It never goes over well because people love the Hallmark. So that's fine. That's fine. All I'm saying is if you've ever seen a Hallmark movie, you know for some reason we discourage the poor young lady who's been successful in a job that she's been going for in the big city. She's being successful. She's got to just do one more thing and to turn the report in, and then she goes back and visits the family, then the snowstorm comes, and then she starts talking to the guy that she used to talk to. It didn't work out for some weird reason, but this time, well, he used to be married, his wife passed, the wife always passes away. You know, it's never like, yeah, she caught me cheating. Yeah, it's nothing like that. It's just like, and you know, I question the guy anyway, you know, and she's always like reconnecting with him, and he's got a precious little child. We have children, they're not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a good kid, but you're not like that. A little kid singing in the choirs and all this stuff. And then the other thing, they're walking around town. They're walking around that little village of a town that they have. And they're singing Christmas carols all together. That's not my neighborhood. That's never been my neighborhood. Let me tell you, I live in Southern California, and there's a street that you got to get through to get to my street. My street's fine, but there's a street. It's called the Avenue. It's Ventura Avenue, and those people would not make it down Ventura Avenue. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't. I want to believe that they could, but there's no way they would get. And then they hold the music. Why do they have to hold the music anymore? Do they not know these songs have been here for 100,000 years now? Silent. Now you want to look with me? Night, holy. And then the woman. I know it's not going over. I just got to get it out. I don't want to go back to the hospital. All I'm saying, if that was my daughter, and she went to the big city with a certain goal, and she's about to reach that goal, I wouldn't be like, I sure wish you'd come back now. Right before her goal. Like, let her reach her goal, and then give her the option to come back with some success under her belt. I raised winners.
That's right.
But she won't go back. Not on Hallmark. Nope. And then what do these people do for a living? Everyone's rich in those towns. Have you seen those houses? Everyone's rich and only one person works, the person at general store. That's the only person. They own the general store, and then they're having to sell but they got to raise the money so they don't have to sell the. Okay. So I was last Friday, just kind of twitching. I woke up. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Early Friday morning, you know, a.m., the times, you know, that time when you used to be going home, just going home. You know, you go, like, I think I'm going to, I hope I can make it. And then I was just in my hotel room, and I was like, something's not right. And I was just really dehydrated feeling. I had that, I don't know, there's certain times, too, when you walk by the mirror and you just see it, you know what I'm saying? You just see it. Like, I know, I look at this every time I go by, you know, already. So it's like, ooh. But this time, I was like when I got married, I know I'm a scary character, especially in the middle of the night. Like, because my hair just goes, like, out like that. And I look like a guy who would be I look like an Old Testament character in the Bible. That's what I look like. I look biblical, but it's Old Testament. Like, it's not like Americanized biblical, you know, what we've done with Christianity here in the last, 100 years. I don't have that look to me. I have that old prophet coming out of the, eating honey locusts and stuff, that kind of deal. And So I woke up and I was just kind of twitchy. I was feeling physically like that, and I was like, what is this? And I don't take anything. Like even they prescribe stuff for me sometimes, and I'll cut it short because I'm like, nah, I just don't like. Addiction runs in my family for over generations of history, and so if I don't have to take something, I don't want to take it because I don't like the fog. I like to be in control of things, in my mind and stuff. And but I didn't have anything that was like. And so finally, I told myself, okay, listen, I've got a show that night, which is a week ago right now, in St. Louis. I have a show in St. Louis. This is the morning before. So I'm within 12, 13 hours from this show. And I was like, oh, it just press through, because that's what Tindall's, that's me, my family, that's what we've always done. We press through. That's how we deal with things. We ignore that. Don't do this anymore. I'm telling you, at a young age. How old are you? You're 19? Oh man. Oh, listen to me at this age right here. See, I would ignore this thing. My family just ignored it. Mainly because we never had health insurance. So, if you walked in and told my Nana, who's little Mexican Nana, you told her, Nana, hey, I heard it didn't matter. You didn't have accent. Nana, I stepped on a nail. She said, Mijo, let me see. You know what? No, you had that hole before in your foot. You had that before. Get out of here. You're a liar. Don't. If Vicks Vapor Rub and Alka-Seltzer couldn't fix it, that's just the way you are from now on. That was my household. Have the light that comes on the dashboard? No, that's where you go through the fuse box and you find the fuse that controls that light. You hear a noise happening, traditionally, well, I turn the radio up. That's what Marcus was getting to me. I was twitching. And I was like, I can't ignore this. I've got to drive all day to get, because I was in Little Rock, Arkansas, so it was 5 hours. I've got to drive 5 hours. I can't drive like this. I don't feel right. And so I took myself in. And it's like, yeah. If anywhere should have valet parking, it's the emergency room. You know what I'm saying? Because the hospitals are the hardest places to park. And if you work in the medical realm, I'm not criticizing the way that you do things, but I am criticizing the way that we do things. Like, this is a huge oversight, because then they point you to this horrible parking deck. Like, there's a horrible, and you can't get in and stuff, and the guy, and so I find my place, and I go in, and they say, well, what seems to be the problem? And I was just like, man, I don't know. I don't know. And I was trying my hardest not to say I've had a heart condition before, because as soon as you say that, now I got a choice to make. Because the process gets expedited for sure. Like, you go quicker if you tell them you have a history of heart stuff. But at the same time, if it's not serious, then they're like, they get mad at you at the end. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to kind of, at least while you're in there, you got to hope at least it's a little serious. Like, I hope they find something that wasn't right, that we can control. And so I just tell them, I say, yeah, I'm twitchy. I got heart palpitations. Palpitations. I have heart palpitations. And they said, palpitations? And I said, how dare you? And so I had heart palpitations, and they take me back, and they say, okay, let's run some tests on you. This was last week. And I was still in the twitch, and I said, hey, listen, here's what's going on. I'm not one of those guys who, I'm trying to get hooked up with some kind of medication, and that's why I'm here. But I'm jittery right now. I'm really and so can you tell the doctor? I tell my nurse guy, can you tell the doctor if there's anything that's just calming, just something to calm me down? Here's the problem with me historically too, is medication has an opposite effect often on me. Like, if I drink a cup of coffee at nighttime, I get sleepy. I don't, like in the morning time, if I drink coffee, are you like this? No, I'm telling you, man, listen, I drink coffee in the morning time, I get more sleepy. It doesn't jolt me up. And so they gave me this medicine that was supposed to calm me down. 20 minutes after they gave me this, I was in my little curtain room, and before I was just twitching like this. Now I'm like, you know, I'm asking people for change. You know, it's gotten pretty bad. I'm just outside of a liquor store, just smoking. You know what I mean? But you're just in the hospital, yeah. And so it was getting bad. And they do a series of tests on me and things like that. They hold me for about 6.5 hours, and we go through the stuff, and then I'm released back out into the wild. And now remember how I was concerned because I didn't want to drive for 5 hours already, which is kind of jittery. Now I'm driving like this, like I'm like Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings.
Mr. wants us to do something. No, Mr. doesn't want us to do something.
I was. But one of the tests that they gave me was CT scan. CT scans. What does that stand for? Do you know?
Basically, it's like looking inside, and not just at the bones, but actually at the organs.
Yes, that's exactly what they did. But they made me take this stuff that they put right before it. So it's like this little, it's like this round thing that you get in, and you got to hold your arms up like that. And so they said they ran an IV right here in my hand, and they said we're gonna fill you with this liquid, and here's what they tell me. They said when you go in there, we're gonna tell you when we do it, but you're gonna feel like you're using the bathroom.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa, how will I know I'm not using the bathroom? Because I don't know if I feel like it already, chances are, this night's not going well for me anyway. And so they ran the fluid, okay? So they ran the fluid, and there was warmth all over my body. I still have a metallic type taste in my mouth, you know, which I feel like maybe they've like done a little bit of something to me to make me more Wolverine-ish or something, like it's caught something in there. Like is this the vaccine? Is this what everyone's afraid of? I've been trying to do super things. I really have. I've been like, let me just see if I can crawl up that wall real quick. I don't know what's going to happen. And so the rest of the time, until maybe a day ago, how do I say this discreet? Everything that has come through me has been fluorescence. Everything. Not just one thing, if you hear, but everything is fluorescent and bright, and I'm very concerned. And that's the last time I'll go to the hospital. So I was in the bathroom here, speaking of, that's why I was just in the bathroom before the service there. And one thing I like about your bathrooms is I haven't been, is there a men's and women's, or is it just kind of, okay, well, I always go to the men's one, but I didn't know if it was one of those ones where it's like you just gotta wait on, thank God it's not one of those ones where you have to wait, because that's the worst thing to find out a woman is on the other side of that door waiting for you to get out of there if you're a man. Because if you're a man, listen, we take care of business in there, women. Like when we say we have to go, we're not like you all where we want to talk to our friends. We gotta go. Like we're not relational in that way. We love relationship with each other, but we're not going to the restroom together. You know that weird thing that women do? You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. Let's go talk about life. What? Like I'm never like, dude, I gotta go. You know, let's go. What? And I saw this. It reminded me of this bit that I used to do back in my probably in the early 2000s about using the VIP section of the bathroom, the handicap stall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That's what I do. And I gotta confess, I use it. If I go into a big bathroom, I'll use that handicap stall, and I just take my time in there. I just hang out for a while because it's the most roomy. It's nice. They put flat screens on the back of And the worst thing, though, even worse than seeing a woman, the worst thing is when you see the chair, the wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in there and you see the wheel roll up, because in the men's bathroom you can hear another man coming. Yeah, you can hear, and the way you hear it is because the men's bathroom always has this sticky layer on the ground. It's always, it's always like that. We tell ourselves it's cleaner. That's what it is. It's cleaner that they didn't put enough water in, but it's not cleaner. It's just like that. But when you hear the door open and you don't hear that, and then you see the wheel, that's what I always like. My go-to is I say this phrase, and this is my go-to. My phrase is, dude, it's okay, I'm a diabetic. And I am a diabetic. I've been diabetic for 44 years, a type 1 diabetic. But the reason that's okay is because no one knows what that really means. It means different things to different people. Like you can see someone say they're diabetic, and you're like, oh no, I don't know how much longer they got. You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't know. They could live a healthy life into their hundreds, or they're like, oh, they're on the way out. You just don't know. But I'll tell you this: as a diabetic, when you say it's okay, I'm a diabetic, people will give you free stuff. They will if you want free stuff, say you're a diabetic. Seriously, hey, man, I'm a diabetic. Hey, he needs a Coke. He needs a Coke. Somebody give him a Coke. I'm like, no, enchiladas, de pollo. And usually he'll give me his chair. He's like, here, take the chair. Roll out of here, man. You can't take that guy's chair. I'm a diabetic. Here's some money. Take this. So one thing I do like about this, I guess I'm doing potty humor tonight. Is that what
Yeah.
literal potty humor? No, flirtations. What I like about the bathroom here, for me, is that I can reach the door with my leg. And I appreciate that because you never know when that door is actually locked in those bathrooms. You know what I'm talking about? And I saw, it's all going downhill now, guys. This neighborhood's going to pot. I just saw that you guys put up Starbucks just right down the road.
Yeah.
Starbucks has the worst bathrooms. The worst bathrooms. Why? Because they've just got the toilets, or as the sign in the restroom over here says, the commode. Do you use commode or toilet? What do you use? Toilet? You're a toilet person? Toilet? What is it?
Pot.
The pot, yes, the pot. Does anyone in here use commode? Okay. Well, the toilet, the commode in the Starbucks bathroom is the worst because it's positioned like it's a small room, almost bigger than the dining room, but there's no stall. There's just a toilet there, and they got a sink over here, and it's just awkward because there's no stall, there's no walls around this thing, which would be fine if it weren't so far away from the door. Because I don't know if that door is actually locked. I don't ever trust the little push button thing when you push the button. You know, you just don't know. And then when people come to the door, you can see the shadow of the foot. You know, like oh no, and you can just see them, and then you wait for that like on the door, and you're like yes, it's locked. But they won't go away, will they?
No.
They will not go like that. In any other circumstance, we will go away. If we're on the other side of the door, and we're like, what's going on here? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. If I went to a door, the front door of the church, and it was locked, I'd be like, it's locked. But if I go to a bathroom door, I'm like, what's going on here? I don't understand why this doesn't turn all the way.
That's true. That's true.
So they just keep on pursuing, and they're out there. And here's the problem: is that we will never just say that someone's in there. Like, I don't know why we're trying to save face at this point. You know what I'm saying? They're coming in here to do exactly what I'm doing. No one's good in this situation. I've just gotten here first. And they're like that. And I don't want to let them know that. And so what we all do the same thing. There's certain things we all do the same. We all about to sneeze the same. Not sneeze the same. Different sneezes. Some people have achoo. Some people have like that, those kind of weird sneezes like that. My mom used to go, Yahtzee. She would say Yahtzee. I'm not sure. It's weird. But we all about to sneeze the same. About to sneeze is the I'm about to sneeze face. It's the international I'm about to sneeze. We all do it the same. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from in the world. It goes like this. It's this. It's this face. It's the about to sneeze, like that. And then we add the I'm about to sneeze noise. It goes, like that. Right before we sneeze. The other thing we do, all the same, is we all say the same thing when we hear that little sound in our stomach that goes, wah, wah, like that. We all do the same thing. We stop and we look at each other. Was that my stomach? We know it was our stomach. So we all do the same thing when the is happening. We won't use our words. We only make noises. We'll stomp on the ground like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like we'll make. My friend told me there's something you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say a certain thing, and it's this. He said it's simple. All you have to say is it's occupied. Everyone, it's universal. It's occupied. You've heard that before? It's occupied. It's occupied. But here's my problem with this occupied. Is there's no manly way to release that in this situation. I need this to have some weight to it, and there's no way to just release the, and this, like, there's no way to, it's occupied, like, it just doesn't come across. Because I know I have to face another man that has to go when I come out of here. So here's what I enjoy about tonight. What I enjoy about tonight is that this is our experience. Meaning this. In this room, so if we were doing a television show right now or producing a comedy special, I'd have to stick to certain material and deliver boom every line, boom every line, boom every line. But in this room, it's just us, and we're having this conversation. So I'm going to do something that comics we rarely get to do, and there's a reason we rarely do it, is because it's one of the hardest things to do, because the crowd can overtake you very easily. But it's a go to the crowd night where we can go and we can find out, because you guys know enough about me, but I don't know a lot about you. And so I'm going to ask some of you certain questions tonight, and we're just going to get to know each other. We're going to all enjoy this night together, because by God, I lived through last Friday. And so tonight, I'm going to enjoy this Friday night. And tonight, I'm going to sleep sound for a few hours on this night. And so tonight, I'm going to ask her, because there's a few firsts. There's a few firsts in my life happening right now. And that's one of the reasons I feel like I was so palpitating. I'm talking like my grandma now. My little, no. Mijo, the doctor said you were palpitating. Basically, it just means you're the palpitations. What does that mean, mijo? Don't talk back. So one of the firsts that I'm experiencing right now is that this is the first time I will be without any of my children, my biological kids, over Christmas time. And that is one of the things that had me all like that at nighttime, because for a month long they're gone with the other side of their family, and they need to be. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a first time thing for me. And it's hard because I've had these kids. My kids are, my oldest is she's 24 now, and she's in New York City, so she's got her own thing going on. And then my son, though, and my other daughter, he's 17, and she just turned 15 while I was gone. The day before I ended up in the hospital, she turned 15. So it's adding up, right? Mijo, you're palpitating. And so I was just kind of like, and so it's the first in my life of this month I'm without my kids, and I didn't realize how connected I am with my kids. I didn't realize how much that I still have not cut the cord, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I got the umbilical cord, I call it, and it's connected. And so this is some firsts. And I was thinking about while I was in Arkansas, in Little Rock, in that emergency room, and the emergency room was one of those ones with the it was just a big empty kind of warehouse-ish room, but it had the curtain, the curtain draws like that, where so it wasn't real walls or doors, and you can't do that with me because I'm a creeper. Like, I want to see what's going on, and so no one has it all the way closed the right way, and so when I'm walking by and we're rolling by for the get down, like, hey man, back that up, back it up. Like I'm like that. Like if you're one of those people who your blinds are open at nighttime, like you know, and you're watching a show on TV, I will slow down the street. I'm like, really watch? Man, that's only season 3. I'm a creeper. And I was creeping on everybody's, you know, what they're gonna. That guy's not gonna make it over here, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing. The guy next to me, he was a Dr. Hawk. Like, I couldn't get attention because he's over there, oh, he was like, he's making these noises. Come on, man. I'm hurting too. I wouldn't have come in had I not been, so I was trying to shake more for the doctor, you know. But it wasn't making enough noise. I was just squeaking the bed and he's, oh. So I was thinking about my first things that were there in Little Rock when I was a teenager. The way I was is that I lived in Little Rock, Arkansas during the school year, and San Fernando Valley, California, the Valley, Los Angeles, during the summers. That was a family dynamics. So I was back and forth. It was culture shock both ways. I was too brown for one section and too white for the other section. Like it was culture shock both ways. I'm surprised I'm alive. It was because of the palpitation. And I had my first job, my first day at school. I was thinking about first. And so I thought what I'd do is I'd ask in here, who remembers your first job? Who remembers your first job? The first time you had to like be employed, what was your first job, sir?
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen. Ah, yes. What do you remember the functions that you would do? Like what was your main role there?
I waited on people and I remember making ice cream cones with a little loop at the top.
Yeah, yeah. Did they train you like a certain, like this is the Dairy
a
Queen?
little practice.
Yeah, yeah. Did they get onto you if you were to, no, we've told you 3 times. It's going the wrong way.
15 years old.
15 years old. Did you have to get the worker's permit?
Yep.
Yep. That's not, anyone else work the food industry for your first job? First job, what was it?
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Oh,
All
he went to
right.
McDonald's U.
McDonald's, what?
He went to McDonald's U.
McDonald's U. Like a,
They're on school.
oh really?
Yeah.
Who's the manager? Yeah, I did do a little bit of management. I had to do some school stuff.
You're the real deal.
Yeah. Kid at the register.
Did you ever meet him? Mr. McDonald?
The Ronald? Yes.
Yeah.
Same sort of story. It was super weird.
Yes. He's a lot meaner than people would think.
Smells like
Like,
bourbon.
yeah. I've heard stories from Grimace. Yeah. Tell you what. What was your first job? Washing dishes in a place called Pit Barbecue. Yes. Did you get free food? Yeah. I was a dishwasher one time in a place called Denton's Trotline. And I got in trouble 3 times before I was let go for the same thing. I would take the frog legs and I'd put on little shows. But it was after we closed. I don't know why I was getting in trouble. It was after we closed, and these were leftover frog legs from people's plates. I did little shows, they would dance around. Yeah. I should have worked for Disney. Denton's Trotline. Yeah. Where's more hands? What was your first job? Right? Yes.
Worked at the school.
Worked at the school. All right. Just, were you employed there or you just worked? All right, all right.
13 years old.
At 13?
Waxing floors and stuff. I worked with my.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
We all worked for the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear that, young people? Look at you. What are you doing? Nothing. I'm kidding. Did you work yet? What do you want to do? Like what, for a first job? For a first job. Anything you can get money for. Don't say that. Plasma. Plasma's one thing. Don't go get plasma for a livelihood. I tried it. Yes, back there. Worked at a carnival? At 13 years old, you're a fan favorite right up here already.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I can't hear anything you're saying, but. Really? All right. She was in California doing the carnival. That's where the real carnival is at. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Back when I was growing up, I went to school in Austin called Texas School for the Blind.
Uh-huh.
And my first job I had there was being a switchboard operator.
Switchboard operator.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool. How old were you?
I was 16.
16. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That was back in the 90s.
Back in the 90s. I remember the 90s. I was just a young man. My first job was Burger King.
Oh boy.
I want to argue with you about this. Because I envied the guys and girls. It's the 90s. I envied the McDonald's. I envied Wendy's because I went to work my first day. I turned 14. I got a worker's permit and started working for Burger King. And I remember it so well because I'd done it at 13 the year before. I did that thing where you try to take on a new identity. You start, that's when you start really trying to find out who you are. And so I remember watching a show called The Renegades, and on The Renegades, these guys had a cool walk, and I would try to implement that walk, and they just thought like something was wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, look at him. I was like, oh, yeah. And I wanted to be a rapper named E.T. Fresh. That's what I wanted to be. And the reason that was important in this job is because I got to work two positions. They tried me on drive-through. Now, I don't know, it wasn't like this in your generation for sure. In your time at the Dairy Queen, did they have the registers that would count back the change and tell you how much, or did you have to count it back?
No, it was counted.
You counted it back.
You made the change.
That was the problem, because I was not qualified to count back the change. And one day I came up one day I worked. They let me work the drive-through. One day I came up $46 short. 46, and I didn't steal a dime. $46 short. But the reason I wanted so badly to work over here was because you could use the microphone. There's two microphones. And E.T. Fresh wanted to rap. And there was this microphone over here, and the only time you could use it though is if someone ordered a chicken sandwich, a chicken product. That's when you tell the guys in the back, chicken sandwich, no lettuce. And then the other one is the register. Chicken sandwich, no lettuce. So I was working register after I got in trouble over here. I was working register, and then right between us was the expedite position. Did you guys call it expedite?
No.
Okay, expedite position was the guy who the runner, the one who takes the food from the Burger King chefs and hands it to the loyal customers. That's the setup. And so in these positions, you had me, E.T. Fresh, but over here on the other mic, you had my cohort, my partner in crime. His name was Raudacious Roy. Raudacious Roy was in charge. His job in the rap crew, his job was to be the human beatbox. That was what that was the guy who, like, we didn't use drums, we only used the guy that was him. And so we could not wait for someone to order a chicken product. Because they did, and the guys and the kids were like, oh, here we go. And Raudacious Roy, chicken sandwich, no lettuce. And so
You need to start a record business.
I was so excited for someone to order a chicken product. I was at my register. Raudacious Roy was at his. Fred was working in the expedite position. Now Fred, this guy, let me explain something to you. Fred had a unique look and a unique walk. Fred, where I had this giant 80s hair like that, and in the 80s, because it was about 1986-ish, in the 80s, there were just very limited hair products available. It's not like now. We didn't have Sally's Beauty Supply full of it. There was one hairspray you could use, Aquanet. They gave birth to White Rain later. It meant Purple Rain and anyway. And the Aquanet was this, it was like liquid who remembers Aquanet? Who's in here? Yeah. Aquanet was this liquid concrete. Yes, it would break the hair. Like you could like that, and I would do the crimp iron because it was before flat irons, and it was the 80s, you know, and I want to rock like that, and my hair was giant, big, and I'd do the crimping iron and the spray. But if you made a mistake and had your eyes open while you did like that, you would be just stuck all day like. What's wrong with Elijah today? He looks astonished. His hair looks glorious, though. And no one ever helped us with the hair in the back. No, it was just like that big, and then just a flat in the back. So there's that hairstyle that I had. There's the footloose mullet hairstyle. And then Fred had a unique look. Fred had a hairstyle called the Jerry curl. I don't know if you're familiar with the Jerry curl. Jerry curl's pretty awesome. It's back now. Eazy-E had the Jerry curl, but the Jerry curl, the product that Jerry curl had was what we call it Jerry curl juice. And Fred would always carry around a bottle. He'd spray his hair, and it would kind of loosen it, and it would have this real not crunchy, but it'd keep it moist. You know what I'm saying? It'd keep it moist. It's not like a mousse. It would just have more of an oily moisture to it. And the reason that's important is because Fred had an identical twin brother named Darryl. Fred, Darryl, identical twins. Fred and Darryl were 6'2". 6'2", slender, Snoop Dogg looking slender, smooth characters. Now, very unique walk that each of them had. I'm about to show you the walk. You need to pay attention to the walk because it's very vital to this story, the rest of the story. Fred's unique walk was this. Okay, you got that down? You got the visual? Darryl, his twin brother, on the other hand, his walk was this. Pay attention, here it is. See? They look the same, don't they?
Yeah.
But they're not the same. The reason they're not the same is because, see, they were done for a different reason. Darryl's walk, Fred's brother, was like that because Darryl was a stone cold gangster. And he would walk like, oh yeah. And you could hear the music playing. Right? Like that, when he would walk. He was in gangs. He was in one of the big major gangs. And he was just always up to no good. Fred, on the other hand, Fred was this kind, gentle spirit of a young man, and he just cared for people. And Fred was a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo, and he would teach inner-city kids younger than him how to do Taekwondo and all this stuff like that. But the reason Fred walked like that, the same exact walk would look like, was because Fred had a wooden leg from here down. So now Fred's walk looked just like Darryl's walk because he had this limp. Same look of the walk. And here's the deal. Like, they would get each other, Darryl would get Fred in trouble all the time. Once again, Fred's a nice guy. One time we were at school, and this was right in the middle of a big gang thing in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I know it sounds like Little Rock, Arkansas wouldn't have a lot of gangs from where it is, but it actually does, because in that time in the 80s, what the gangs in LA, the Bloods and the Crips, two different gangs, what they figured out is they could traffic a lot of drugs through the middle of the country because the police couldn't keep up with what they were doing if they all shifted them really quick. So they sent a bunch, hundreds of gang members into these communities. There's even a show about it called Banging in Little Rock back in the 80s. And that was, I was on that show. And it was, they were there. And so we were at school one day, and I was talking to Fred, and these guys came up, and they were like, Daryl, we're going to kill you. And one pulls a gun out. And I was like, whoa, this is Fred, this isn't Daryl. And he's like, don't you lie to me. I was like, man, I'll kick you with his leg right now. So Audacious Roy on drive-thru. Me on register. Chicken sandwich. No lettuce. No lettuce. And so Fred is working right in between. Fred's kind, he's nice, but a dark shadow kind of cast upon all of us at one moment. And everything just, we're like, what is that? Remember that vibrating water on Jurassic Park? Oh, yeah. It was getting louder, and we saw this giant shadow of a beast, of a thing come, and we smelled, it was getting huge, but we could smell it coming too. It smelled like this guy ate several liquor stores on the way there. Not bottles, liquor stores. And remember, this is Little Rock, Arkansas, so it's like one big family tree just walk. He's related to himself in several ways. He's walking. And he comes up and he said, "I said no mayonnaise." And Fred's got that nice look, you know. He's kind of like, okay, sir. And he goes, "I said no mayonnaise." And he reaches out his hand, and in his hand is a full-size Whopper, but it looks like a sesame seed. That's how big this guy. Just, "I said no mayonnaise." And Fred said, "It's not going to be a problem, sir. We'll just take that." And he grabs the Whopper, you know, and the Whopper's full size in Fred's hands. Remember, Fred's 6'2". He's not a small guy, slender but not small. And he turns around, and the guy reaches across the counter, which no pedestrian is supposed to do. This is not right. This is the boundary. You have to fill out an application if your skin's going to cross here. And the guy just reaches. He reaches and he grabs Fred by the Burger King uniform, by the collar, like that, and he picks Fred. Fred is 6'2". He picks him up like eye level with him, and he says, "Oh, sir, no mayonnaise." And the guy just clearly, he's out, and he just starts shaking, not stirring, shaking Fred, and he's shaking him and shaking. Now, this is where it becomes important, Fred's hairstyle. Remember Fred's hairstyle? The Jerry curl? Because Fred kicked that. Like, you could never lose Fred because he put so much Jerry curl juice on, it looked like a slug just walking around. Like, where's Fred? Oh, man, he's on the battle. Fred, we gotta go. Fred's hair, like that. Fred's hair is now big. And it's just like the guys in the back are secret sauce. And then he releases Fred. And as he releases Fred, I can see him, he's rotating around in the air in slow motion. It's always trouble in the slow motion. My theory is never good things happen when it's slow motion. It's never, ever good. It's not like it works out. And he's starting to, and he's landing, and when he lands, lands in the kung fu position. Jerry curl juice. And both me and Audacious Roy, we look at each other because we know this is not going to be good. And Audacious Roy runs over. He's running to his microphone. We can't let this moment go. And he gets there, and it's still in slow motion. You hear his fingers, and you. And I go, Fred's gonna die. Don't be a hero. The guys in the kitchen. Now just throw your fries in the air. And Fred, he lifts up his back, his leg, like this, and he's starting to rotate. And I was like, no, Fred, no. He was such a kind young man. But Fred had enough. That's how we can't take it. So that's what's happening to this year, some of us. Some of us have snapped. We're like, Fred, we started okay. And now we're like, and Fred, trying to teach us a lesson for the future, he extends his leg in a roundhouse kick. All the way, remember, 3rd degree black belt, taekwondo, who specializes in kicks. And when Fred's leg, I wish this was made up, but it's not. When Fred's leg fully extended, Fred's leg accidentally came off. Now Fred is just standing there with his nub and the pant leg hanging down and a wooden leg with a sock. Why is he wearing a sock? A sock. It would have been cool had he hit the guy and struck him right in the middle. Oh, like that. Nay, it didn't hit the guy like that. It just went by and it tapped him on the shoulder. And now Fred's leg is like, whoa! And it goes down like a helicopter out of control. It goes down and it's just circling. It's in the middle of the ground. Children are running, parents are crying, a small Cuban family is swimming back. And immediately, that guy, that drunken, huge man, this mammoth beast, he sobers up immediately. Like you see it. Because how do you stay intoxicated when what you've done that day is cause someone's leg to come off? They say sobriety takes 12 steps, nay, 5 toes, 5 wooden toes.
That's good stuff.
So that was my first job. As I close, I want to get this out of me so that way I don't leave twitching. All the Christmas twitches that I have, I want to get them out. This is closing, so don't worry. We're about to leave. We're about to set those things on fire. So people going down the street can be like, "What's going on over there?" And we're like, I was at a parking lot in Oklahoma City. I lived in Oklahoma City for 12 years, and I've always been a Cadillac guy. I've even got a big giant Cadillac tattoo on. I don't believe in tattoos, but back when I used to be I don't believe they exist. And I always loved tattoos. It's from my dad. Not tattoos, but I always loved. I hate tattoos. I always loved Cadillacs. I'm a Cadillac guy. I like Cadillacs, but I like the big body Cadillacs. I don't like the small Cadillacs. I like big Cadillacs. because I told you I'm Mexican. I'm half Mexican, so yeah, I'm required. And so I had 3 Cadillacs because I lived in Oklahoma, and it was affordable to live there, not like it is in California for me, where I have to just be on a scooter, like that. But I had an Escalade, I had a Cadillac DeVille, the pearl white one, and then I had my favorite, and my daughter, she was 14 at the time, my daughter's least favorite, a 1984 4-door big body DeVille with metallic blue paint, big flex stone paint, 13-inch Daytons, those little bitty rims, and had hydraulics all around. I had to do the 3-wheel motion. My daughter was always embarrassed. She never wanted to take that car. But the thing is, that car was the most reliable of them all. Because if it was snow or ice and I couldn't move the other 2, I'd be like, and just get right to it. But that car, and so we're in that car. We're going to the mall. This is Christmas time, and this is one of the reasons that I didn't care for Christmas, is because everyone was at the mall. It was like the weekend before. We're just trying to get her mom a present, and we're going 26 minutes. 26 minutes. I'm in the parking lot, circling around, trying to find a parking spot. My daughter's like, Dad, can we just at least turn the radio down? And I was like, come on, that's bass in there. That's 215s in there. She didn't like any of it. And so she's mostly white. It's okay. She's my daughter. I can say. And she was embarrassed, and we're going around, and then I see a car backing up, and I'm like, oh, that's my spot. And so I pull around and I do the adult, I called it, which is the blinker. You turn the blinker on. You know what I'm saying? That indicates to everybody else. They should know already, but you can't trust people anymore. You can't trust them to. And so I did the thing. It's been 26 minutes. I did the blinker, and it's an old cat. And the blinker's like, fuses are blowing, and then as that car pulls out, this little, I don't hear it coming, but it's a little bitty, one of those little Save the Earth cars. It's a smart car. It doesn't have a motor. That's why I couldn't hear it. And that's the only reason it could squeeze between where I was and where that car had just pulled out of. It goes and pulls in. 26 minutes, and I was already like, and I love baby Jesus. Remember, it was getting to me. And I was like, no way. And so I pull up. I'm not proud of this. I pull up. My daughter's like, Dad, don't. But I pull up to the bumper of her car. I want to hit the hydraulics, and be done with it. She'd never be seen again. But I didn't. I pulled up to the bumper of the car, and then I just lay on the horn a little bit. Like that. My daughter's gone. She's gone. I don't know where she went. I haven't seen her since. That was 20 years. And I just honking the horn like that. And as I'm honking the horn, I can see it was a lady that was driving the car. And you know what they say? They say don't discriminate, and they say treat everyone the same. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna treat her just like a guy that would do this. And so I was like that. And as I was honking, I could see the lady's eyes, and she looked at me in the rearview mirror, and I realized, oh no, I think that lady goes to my church. That I was on staff at. And I was like, oh, okay, and I started to back up, and as I was backing up, I saw her door open, and I was like, well, you know what, she needs to know, so I'm not going to scare her, but she needs to know this isn't okay. It's not cool to just do this to people. And so I back up, but then I pull forward a little bit where she's going to have to walk by me, and I roll the window down. It's got power windows, but remember, it's a 1984 DeVille, so it's like, whole parking lot just like that, and I do that look that we all do, that I just like, because I got a whole pew, a church pew that has a seat, and I do this look. I'm like, because she needs to know. She needs to know. It's important that she gets the message that this is not okay. And I do this like that. And as she walks by, she says this to me. She goes, honk at me. And then keeps walking, just stone cold thug this way. And I was like, Lord, I did not want to take this a step further. But your Spirit's leading me to. And so with every step that she took, from the end of the parking lot all the way to the front door of Dillard's, every time she stepped, I was behind her going, I'm not proud of it. But since we're in a church tonight, I just wanted to get it out of my system. So that way I don't go to the ER tomorrow. Hey guys, let me make mention. I got these shirts. These are my these Laughing Anyway. I had a comedy tour and a show that actually sold to Netflix, but it got put on hold, so it's on the shelf at Netflix for a while now. But it was called Laugh Anyway. So the tour was Laugh Anyway Comedy Tour. The show was called The Stand-Up Guy, and Laugh Anyway was the theme of it. And so I thought, you know what, this year, a perfect theme to close the year out is I'm laughing anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, just laughing anyway. No matter what, maybe twitching, we're choosing to laugh and be people who are just going to be laughing anyway. So I call these shirts January Rent.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
For the amount of any donation, and you know, it cost me. I'm about $9 into the shirt. You know what I'm saying? So any donation that would be in, you know, above that range helps me out. Now here's the deal. Well, I've got, I think, 3 smalls left and 4 or 5 larges left. And if anyone wants these, just holler at me before tonight. And then if you don't have the money with you, or if you're one of the fancy kids like my kids that do the Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, and you just do it on your phone, or if you just want to run a card, I can manually do it on the phone. I have right over there. The church will be over here. But I have right over there a little sheet that I wrote down the Venmo, the address, so that way you can just do that right then, kind of deal. And those of you who are like, I wear an extra large or wear a double X or something else, I've got an order going in tomorrow with my printer guys that they're going to run these probably on Monday. So, but the order's going in tomorrow. So if you want to order one of these and either we run out of these ones or you want a different size, then just let me know. Write it on a piece of paper over here, so that way I can put that in the order. And if you want to pay for it, then I'll ship it to you, kind of thing. So if you want that, I encourage you to do so. They're worth. Oh man, well let's see. This is a small right here. Who wants this small? Who wants this one right here? Small. Who wears a small? Who wants it? You want it? All right, 1, 2, 3. I saw 3 hands. That's 3 smalls. We're gonna do all right. Good. 3 smalls are for sale right over there. See what I did? No, you got a shirt coming, but it's not this one. So that's it. Thank you, guys. Here comes Pastor Roy.
Thank you, Elijah. You know, I think everybody enjoyed that, and you know, like I said, we just needed some laughs. So we're going to go out here on this parking lot over here. We'll take this trash can out here. We've already taken everything off the cross. And we're going to go out here, and then we're going to pray over it, and we're going to set it on fire.
All right.